The summer of 1914, Europe was ablaze. The German war machine, a force seemingly unstoppable, had unleashed its might. Across the fields of France, the British army, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, fought with desperate courage. The Battle of the Frontiers raged, a maelstrom of fire and steel. In the face of the German onslaught, the British were forced into a harrowing retreat. Amidst the chaos, small groups of British soldiers, separated from their units, found themselves lost and alone in enemy territory. In the tranquil Aisne region of northern France, nestled among rolling hills and fertile farmland, lay the village of Villeret. Its inhabitants, simple farming folk, were about to be drawn into the maelstrom, their lives irrevocably altered by the arrival of these desperate British soldiers. The villagers, faced with an agonizing dilemma, had to choose between their own safety and the dictates of their conscience. The villagers of Villeret, their hearts heavy with apprehension, opened their homes and their hearts to the fleeing British soldiers. They knew the risks, knew that discovery meant certain retribution from the occupying German forces. Led by the village elder, a man of quiet wisdom and unwavering resolve, they devised a daring plan to conceal the soldiers. Attics were emptied, root cellars were prepared, and hidden compartments were constructed, all with a sense of urgency and secrecy. The soldiers were to become shadows, their presence known only to a select few within the village. Life in hiding was fraught with danger and uncertainty. The soldiers, accustomed to the camaraderie and discipline of army life, now found themselves confined to cramped and uncomfortable spaces, their every move a potential risk. The villagers, for their part, bore the burden of their secret with stoicism and courage. The days turned into weeks, the weeks into months. The soldiers, hidden away in their makeshift shelters, struggled to come to terms with their situation. To break the monotony and alleviate the boredom, the villagers would visit their hidden guests under the cover of darkness, bringing them what little food and news they could gather. These clandestine meetings were moments of shared humanity, of laughter and tears, as the soldiers and the villagers forged an unlikely bond of friendship amidst the horrors of war. The soldiers, eager to repay the kindness shown to them, helped their protectors with chores, repairing tools, and tending to the fields. They shared stories of their homes and families, of life in England before the outbreak of war. The villagers, in turn, spoke of their hopes and dreams for the future, a future they prayed would be free from the scourge of war. Despite the inherent risks, news of the outside world seeped into Villeret, carried on the whispers of the wind and the hushed conversations of villagers returning from market. The war, they learned, raged on unabated, a relentless tide of destruction and death. The German occupation, initially met with stoic resignation, had hardened into a brutal reality. The presence of the British soldiers, a closely guarded secret, became a source of both comfort and anxiety for the villagers. They were a constant reminder of the conflict raging beyond their fields, a symbol of the ever-present danger that lurked just beyond the horizon. But they were also a beacon of hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought for freedom. The villagers, their initial apprehension replaced by a sense of grim determination, continued to provide for their unexpected guests, their resolve strengthened by the bonds of friendship and shared danger. The war, however, had cast a long shadow over Villeret. Section 5. The Price of Compassion. Tragically, the sanctuary that the villagers of Villeret had so bravely provided could not hold forever. The war, a ruthless and indiscriminate beast, had a way of sniffing out even the most carefully guarded secrets. And so it was that a shadow of betrayal fell upon the village, shattering the fragile peace that had held for so long. Acting on information received, a detachment of German soldiers descended upon Villeret, their arrival casting a pall over the village like a shroud of death. The soldiers, their faces grim and their bayonets fixed, fanned out through the village, their progress marked by the sound of boots on cobblestones and the barking of frightened dogs. The villagers, their hearts pounding in their chests, watched in stunned silence as their worst fears were realized. The secret they had guarded for so long, the secret for which they had risked so much, had been betrayed. The villagers, powerless to intervene, could only watch in horror as their friends and protectors were dragged out into the cold light of day, their faces etched with a mixture of fear, defiance, and resignation. Section 6. A Village in Mourning. The capture of the British soldiers sent shockwaves through Villeret. The villagers, their worst fears realized, were overcome with a sense of grief, anger, and helplessness. They had risked everything to protect their charges, and now their bravery had been met with betrayal and tragedy. The British soldiers, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and defiance, were herded into the village square, the eyes of the villagers following their every move. The atmosphere was thick with tension, the silence broken only by the sound of boots on cobblestones and the muffled sobs of women and children. A hasty court-martial was convened, a mere formality in the eyes of their captors. The soldiers, accused of espionage and sabotage, were denied any opportunity to plead their case. The British soldiers, found guilty of crimes against the German Reich, were sentenced to death. Section 7. Remembrance and Respect. The execution of the British soldiers cast a long shadow over Villeret. The villagers, their lives forever changed by the events of that day, were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered world. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the villagers came together to mourn the loss of their protectors. They gathered in hushed whispers, sharing stories of the soldiers' kindness, their courage, and their unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. They spoke of their shared laughter, their moments of camaraderie, and the bonds of friendship that had transcended the barriers of language and nationality. As the war raged on, the villagers of Villeret never forgot the sacrifice made by the British soldiers. They tended their graves with care, ensuring that their final resting place was a place of peace and remembrance. Section 8. The Enduring Legacy. The story of the British soldiers who sought refuge in Villeret is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. It is a story of courage, compassion, and sacrifice, a story that reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can flourish in the most unexpected of places. The villagers of Villeret, simple farming folk caught in the throes of a world war, acted with extraordinary bravery and compassion in sheltering the British soldiers. They risked their lives and the lives of their families to protect those in need. Their actions are testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to transcend fear and prejudice. The British soldiers, for their part, showed remarkable resilience and gratitude in the face of adversity. They embraced the village and its people, forming deep bonds of friendship that transcended the horrors of war. Section 9. Conclusion. The Echoes of Villeret. The echoes of the Great War still reverberate through the rolling hills and quiet lanes of Villeret. The village stands as a solemn yet hopeful testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a place where courage and compassion triumphed even as tragedy cast its long shadow. Though the events of that tumultuous time have faded into the annals of history, the memory of the British soldiers and the villagers who sheltered them lives on. Their story, passed down through generations, serves as a powerful reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of empathy and understanding in a world often riven by conflict. Villeret, once a quiet farming community, thrust onto the front lines of history, now stands as a symbol of hope and resilience. The village, forever marked by the sacrifices made within its borders, reminds us that even in the darkest of times, the human capacity for love, compassion, and selflessness can shine through.